Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me. You can just put in chat that yes or no, or not first. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you hear me? I assume by the hellos in the mornings you can actually hear me. Loud and clear. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thought I'd start with an outside shot of some tulips, just because they're pretty, and also it is raining, so I don't know how long the outside camera will carry on working for. It's not totally waterproof. It is slightly sheltered where it is, but if it gets heavy I'll have to go and rescue it. I'll say a few mornings to people. Again, today we're on YouTube and on Twitch, so I'll be jumping between the two chats. Morning Dem, we'll see. Morning Victoria, Only Me, Sean, Christian, Beauty, Love Creative. Let's see if I've missed anyone else out. Not I can see at the moment. Morning to those who are lurking. Yeah, today is the first day of summer, as you can see with the tulips. Clocks went back last night here. That's not the reason for the late start. Well, it partially is. It's not the fact that I was up late because I was up early, but because cats don't operate on summertime clocks, they just operate on food. But it's really just to allow, because the last few weeks we've been running on a 4-hour difference between here and the east coast of American Canada, where I know quite a few of the viewers are from. So this was a sort of compromise between the two. So it's a little bit later. I might do this again in future, but it obviously depends on whatever commitments I've got on. But it'll be somewhere between 11 and 11:30 on a Sunday generally. Yep, that's the garden. Now, since you can't really see the rain on that, you can probably hear it on the you can hear the wind and the rain on the greenhouse, because we're in the greenhouse again today. Yeah. Yes, it's if you hear wind sounds today, it is the wind, the meteorological wind, and not the bear causing the wind. Before anyone thinks about making jokes about that, I'll just have a quick read through the comments while I was setting up, while the tulips get smashed around in the wind. Lots of hellos between people. Well, I hope this is pleasant, Christian, and I hope you managed to get the kettle on and back before we started. The weather there, yes, I can see some of you starting to learn the commands. Yes, there's quite a few of the European viewers who are struggling with the lack of an hour's sleep overnight. I can see what the weather's like in Utrecht. Yeah, oh, it's not that different from here really, which isn't surprising because literally not that far apart really as the crow flies. Or if I wouldn't be a crow flying across the North Sea, you'd be a seagull. The weather in Lincolnshire in the United States is quite cold. Yeah, only if you just put in Lincoln, it might prefer that. I don't think it quite likes areas as such like that. And if you put in Lincoln, it'll probably be the nearest thing. But I would guess that what I'm getting here will be what you're getting shortly. So if you look outside with the camera, you can see what the weather's going to be doing in about 3/4 of an hour for you. So an extra service that we provide is weather forecasting for our Lincolnshire viewers. Sean's just popped in. He's off to pot some dahlia tubers today. Enjoy that. Dem's appeared on YouTube now as well, and with a shiny new blue badge over on YouTube. Morning Brit Blank over on Twitch. I forget, yeah, welcome to the channel. It is a sort of gardening channel, yeah. Bear in the Garden. It's all about the garden. What goes in the garden goes on in the garden throughout the year. We're predominantly a YouTube channel where all our content is, but we dual live stream on YouTube and on Twitch. So if you like your sort of gardening or just a relaxing time, having a chat to people in the chat, perfect place to be. We do bits of gardening, we do relaxing videos, we do all sorts on here. So it's not we are not a technical gardening channel. I think that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. Well, welcome anyway, Brit Blank. You'll see as time goes on, all the viewers appearing on Twitch. We've got a pretty wide audience from around the world. Just reading the comments. Yeah, congrats on the 1.3 on. Yeah, we've got to the 1.3 subscribers on YouTube now. Just seeing if there's any similar weather in Lincolnshire. Yes, as Beauty Love Creative over on YouTube says, we're a very friendly. I don't know if we're a very friendly channel, but it says, and it's a very friendly bear. Yes, and your channel, and then someone else says the channel's relaxing too. Yeah, so Brit Blank is new to the channel over on Twitch, and they're from Southern California. So I don't know what time it is there, but it's got to be very early there. I mean, it's just coming up midday here in the UK. So there. I'm slightly conscious of my power level because I'm not running on mains at the moment. If you hold fire for a moment, I'm just going to, assuming you don't take off. Thanks for the follow there, Brit Blank over on Twitch. If you don't mind, for a moment, I'm just going to run some power out to the greenhouse because we're running off the battery and we're down to 66% and it's rattling down. So that's not going to make it to the end. I've got the transformer out here, but I haven't run any power. So I'm just going to do that. It'll take me literally a minute to do. So talk amongst yourselves for a moment, and I'll come back and then we'll make a start and I will appear on screen and we can go through what we've got to go through today. Morning, CAD Vision. Back in a moment. I'll take you with me. You may actually no, I won't, because you may cut out and we'll lose the audio. So I'll leave you in the greenhouse, and you can listen to the rain for a moment on the roof. Hopefully everyone's still here. I'm here now. That didn't quite go to plan either. How? Hang on. Let's put you back on so you can actually hear me properly. The didn't quite go to plan there. How the mains cable that's on a reel can get tangled up when it's on a reel and it's wound back on a reel, I do not know. Never mind, we're here, we're back. We'll just plug you in. Hopefully this doesn't crash the stream. Hope no one's been causing trouble while I've been away. Yeah, I know this is very exciting streaming. This is what everyone comes here for. Right, I'm going to plug you in. Now hopefully, so this doesn't crash the stream. If by any chance this crashes, I will restart and come back. It shouldn't crash it, but you never know. Yes, Britt, is Bear the host of the show? Yes, Bear is the host of the show. Right, Paz going in now. Let's see what happens. The power is in. Everyone's still there? If you put something in the chat that you're still there. Yeah, Twitch is still there. Good. And is YouTube, are you still there? I know you're slightly behind in response to Twitch. As far as I can see, it's working. Yeah, hey, everyone celebrate. Brilliant. Right. I'll say a couple of extra people come in. Morning photos has come in. Just see who else has come in. Right, let's change the scene so I actually appear and you can actually see what we're doing. I'll leave the tulips up in the top corner for you. If I can remember which is which camera. I keep meaning to label it when I start setting up, but it varies between the two. So yeah, yep, right, okay. Whew, I thought for a second there it had crashed. But no. It's professional streamer. Right, let's transition that over. So hopefully that looks like you can see me now. Or at least you can see my arm. Hey, there you go. Yeah. Isn't that what a professional channel this is? For anyone new here, or anyone that has been here a long time, as you know, we don't take it too seriously what we're doing here. We try to do things. Whoop, as it all went wrong there. As always, highly professional outfit this. Yeah. I'll come down a bit, that's a bit high. you go. So I'll back up a bit. Morning everyone. As you can see, I'm in my winter bear fur. Morning Samantha. Just check if anyone else is coming on YouTube. Morning Jerome. I'm sure I've missed some various chats. If I miss anything important, don't feel free to put it back in the chat again. Or I'm sure that my one or other of my mods can point out anything important to me. Question over: does the host have his own name or is he Bear? Well, Bear is a nickname. That's me. In the Bear relates to, I don't know if a lot of people know this, well, probably some people do. Bear relates to where I originate from, which is a place in the UK called Warwickshire. The emblem of Warwickshire is a bear. So that's where the name comes from. So that's what I've always been nicknamed. And that's who I am. I'm just called Bear. It's not my real name, for obvious reasons. Well, no, some people are called Bear, aren't they? But I'm not actually called Bear. Sean reckons I look like a Dave or a Trevor. Well, I'm neither of those. So you can use your imagination what you think it might be. But there's only a handful of people who subscribe to this channel that would know who I am in real life, and that would be family. See, even me mods don't know my real identity. I could be a secret agent feeding you false information about gardening. But there you go, perhaps not. So what have we got to show you? We've got a lovely clear bench, which I'm just pointing down to, but you can't actually see. So let's put the camera down a bit so you can actually see the bench. I don't think you need to see a scruffy old me for all the time. And would help if I'm looking at the correct. There I am. So there you go. So look, lovely clean bench. Wouldn't eat off it, but it's actually better than it's been recently. Wiggy the acorn is still around. No sign of Wiggy yet coming out. We'll see. So what's happened in the last week here? Well, since Monday, because we're actually on for that bonus stream on Monday. It's been a mixed week of weather. I've had a couple of days out here in the garden generally when it's been fairly nice in the sun. The new bed that we're doing, we haven't done anything on that this week because I've got the bits to do the second bit of the bed. And we've got a bank holiday weekend coming up next weekend here for Easter. We're basically not a lot else to do for 4 days. So next weekend we'll be streaming on usual on the Sunday, and I'm thinking of doing another stream. I don't know what day yet as well. And what we can do is finish that off, and we'll start planting that up. What I have done this week is I went a bit mad shopping wise, and I'll show you what I bought. Just give you a few show you what's been happening since we were here on Monday. We've got what they were. Yeah, Cosmos seeds that we planted 2 weeks ago, exactly. So they're coming up nicely. The trays on this shelf are the ones we did last week, which are the petunias. I don't think anything's come up in those yet. Well, I can't see anything in those. Yeah. Top shelf here. We've got the perennials, which are still coming along. These are the sort of things that are going to go out in the new flower bed. Morning, Ollie. We've got the trays that we sowed some time ago. Those were the sunflowers, the miniature sunflowers. And I noticed this week some people paid attention to the difference between the... See, I've even managed to get the camera in autofocus. I remember that today, so you can actually see it. So you can probably remember that we've got the seed leaves and the proper leaves coming out there, and you can see the two different styles of those. Yeah, it's not a big greenhouse. It's only 6 foot by 8 foot. It's about double the size of the one I had before that fell apart in a gale. Do I have heat in the greenhouse? No, no heat in here. I don't really keep much in here over winter, apart from the stuff that we save and hope that it survives over the winter. In the summer it gets very warm. I mean, since I've reset the thermometer a couple of weeks ago, we've got a max in here, even at this time of year, 43 degrees Celsius, that is, and -4 overnight on one night. But it's got a stone floor, so obviously that retains a bit of heat. It's in a nice sheltered little position here. So no, I don't bother with the heat. I used to have a heated greenhouse, but and that was run on paraffin oil. So it's not. I didn't find that a great deal of help, because it just seemed to create more condensation in the greenhouse. Yeah, Brits say they don't even have a porch for their tiny apartment. That's why. Yeah, well, in fact, on the YouTube channel, where say most of the videos are and so on, last Saturday's video was about garden plants you can grow on a windowsill. So if you want to try something on a windowsill, once we finished here, if you drop over onto YouTube, under the same name, Bear in the Garden, the link's down in the description on Twitch. You'll find that. It may give you an idea if you want to try something. Oh, thanks, and that professional mod there has managed to put the link up for you. So you can watch the lives on YouTube or on Twitch. It's whatever your preferred platform is for the live stuff. You'll probably find the numbers are fairly even nowadays on the two platforms. What else have we got? Fuchsias, they're coming along very nicely. They're to go in the hanging baskets there, trailing fuchsias. Hello, Lucky Lisa. Yeah, thanks for that on YouTube, Britt. You'll find a lot of content. The channel's been going several years now, so you'll find all sorts of stuff over there. Some of it will probably apply to what you're thinking about, or there's some relaxing stuff. There's a mix of stuff over there. But yeah, so morning, Lucky Lisa. We've got the ones at the front are begonias. And just to prove that not everything works, thanks for the follow there. So not everything survives in this garden. Well, they're looking a bit dry, some of them. They need some water. In fact, what I'll do is that one I'll leave out. Must have missed that yesterday. I watered everything yesterday. So there's a whole mix of stuff here. Welcome to the channel, Papa Smurf Toe. Yeah, we've had a few cold nights recently, or bordering on around the freezing frosty area. It hasn't really affected anything in the greenhouse, but so right, where else have we gone? Oh, so we've been sowing seeds. We've got, by the time we've finished, we'll have about, I don't know, 800 or 900 plants in here. I'm actually running out of shelf space in here, and we've also got stuff in the house as well. So it is getting a bit out of hand, which is why I want to get some of these plants out into the new beds in the garden that we're developing, and then we can fill the greenhouse up again. As old and new viewers should know, well, certainly old viewers will probably concur with it, that we're not a professional gardening channel. We're just someone who likes doing gardening, has been doing it for a number of years, and everything is focused around the garden, really. So if you go on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or Discord or basically anywhere, you'll see everything you see will be from the garden. And there's a few storytelling videos where we do use a few stock pictures, but that's always in the description. We always state in the description where we've done that anyway, to make it clear. But all our shorts, all the pictures, everything's taken by myself or a bear or a cat. Morning orange or evening orange. So what have we got this week? Well, extra this week. Someone went a bit mad, shopping wise. We do need extra plants for that bed, so try not to drop it. There you go. So we went a bit mad. So these are sort of, I suppose, rockery alpine plants. So most of the bed that we're doing next is going to be planted in the ground with slate bits and slate chippings on the top. And some of these are very good creeping and spreading plants. A lot of them are, because they're alpine type plants, are also drought resistant, which after the last couple of summers here is important. That's a good way of putting it. We're only May over on YouTube's a very good description of how I describe myself as a happy amateur. I think that's well, we're happy when things are going right, aren't we? Thanks for the follow, Chrissy. They look nice plants, yeah. I've got these mail order. It's from a company I've used for 3 or 4 years on and off. They're good plants. Their packaging is excellent. They're not overly expensive. I think it works out about for a pot, works out about £1.50 for a pot for a plant. So cheaper than the garden centre. They need water. I've watered some of them, but obviously they need some water. I might actually put them outside while we're talking here, because then they can get rained on. But they're a good company to deal with, and if there's any problems, to deal with it straight away. It's a family-run business, so I'll show you a few plants out of the collection. So there you go. That's a. I was going to show you the picture on the label, which is a bit pointless really, because I was going to show you that so you could see what the flowers look like. But why not just show you the flowers? So that's a saxifraga. That's apple blossom, that version. I've got other saxifraga. It's saxifraga or saxifraga. I don't know how you pronounce it. As you soon find out, we don't know a lot here. We just make half of it up as we go along. I think on the channel, on the YouTube, I think you'll see a red version of this appear. I don't know if it's already appeared. I think it might have recently, or it will do in the next couple of days. We've got a red version of that. So that's a nice looking plant. It's a mix of plants, this is, so they'll be flowering throughout the year. Well, in fact, actually, talking of, that's the other saxifraga, I'll call it, because that's what I call it. So that's the same species as that, but a different variety between the two. So very, very similar leaf patterns and so on, but different flowers. Apologies for the rattly roof. If you can't actually see it, it's actually raining. Actually, I'm considering rescuing the camera before it gets too damp. So we got that. But there are other things in here that are in flower. There's some. Now you see this one here looks completely different, but that's another saxifraga, a different variety. Same family, different variety. So quite interesting. Yeah, they do need a bit of water. So, and as these are alpine plants, they'll cope with. It's not cold outside, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put them out. We've deteriorated down to have a table outside now because we ran out of space in here. So I'm just going to put these out in the rain, and they can have some natural rain. Though I'm not quite sure what a natural rain would be compared to natural rain. Twitch, I'm just going to go into a pre-planned ad break, I think, shortly. I'll hold fire on doing anything too dramatic while that's on. What I might do, actually, while that's happening, if YouTube don't mind, I'm just going to go and rescue the outside camera because the rain's getting a bit on the rainy side. So I'm just going to take that off the screen. I'm just going to rescue it. Morning, Leo. Obviously, Leo can't hear. Dem, if you could just say to Leo in the chat that I said hello. Great having a responsive mods. Right, they're in their outbreak. I'm just going to rescue it. The third one should flower, yes. That's my understanding. Don't know what it's going to flower like, but we'll see. Right, I'm just going to leave you in the greenhouse for a sec. You can listen to the wind and the rain. I'm just going to rescue the camera before it gets absolutely drenched. Right, we're back. Which will be back in a moment. Yeah, I think yeah, it is rainy. The rain's just got here in the last hour or so, Leo. It's worked its way across. No, I haven't seen that sort of saxifraga before, to be honest. I was expecting it to be. I think it's. I can't remember what the plant's called. I think it's something like an ice plant or something. That's what I was expecting it to be, but I'll say we're not an expert. Orange has got another autumn heat wave, 32 degrees C. Whew. Right, okay, fair enough. That's pretty toasty. Hopefully, I'm just going to check. Hopefully, you haven't got me in double audio, because I've just brought the other camera in. Just going to check on the streaming software if I can see a double audio. Hello. No, it looks like we've just got the one audio as far as I can see. Right, good. Back to normal programming. Welcome, Yankee Axe. He's another of the favourites for this channel to go and watch. Yeah. We're in the greenhouse because it's raining. We're just going through what we did. So yeah, so I went a bit mad on those plants. Yeah. The only problem is I went a bit more mad. So we bought some more. But we don't do anything by halves here. So guess what? We went mad. And so we've got an awful lot of plants. But as I say, that bed that we're building is... thanks for that, only me. The bed that we're doing in shortly, probably next weekend, is probably going to take, from experience, something like 100, 150 plants in its own right, just to get it going. So we need a lot of plants. So what have we got in here? Similar sort of plants. Let's have a look. It's a bit unusual, that one. That's allium. You can see on the label. Allium. Allium's part of the onion family. Actually, if you smell that, can you smell that? Put in the chat if you can smell that. And I'll even waft the scent through the internet to you. Yeah. So yeah. I don't know whether smell-o-vision's working today or not. Probably not, but you can smell it. Beauty Love Creative, right? Right. Okay. What does it smell of then? Beauty Love Creative. If you can smell it. That's oh, in your imagination, that's got a very strong smell. Actually, I'm surprised by that. Orange is sniffing the screen. Anyone new to the channel will soon realise it's not. We don't take it seriously. So Orange has sniffed the screen to see if they can smell it, and all they can smell is fingerprints on the screen. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, that because it's part of the onion family. I wasn't expecting it, but that is very oniony. Like you've got a chopped onion. That is very strong. That is. I'm surprised. I'm surprised how strong that smells. What else have we got here? Another saxifraga. So, what else have we got in here? Slightly unusual. Some of these are sort of succulent type things which will survive sort of droughty weather. This is a Darosperma ice cream fire. So when you're buying your plants, I think we said this last week, if you're in the garden centre or something, have a look at the bottom of the pot. Because what, of course, they sell you is they sell you the top of the pot, lovely plant on the top. But as we know from last week, the bottom of the pot's just as important. If you see tons, you can see there's a few roots coming out there. I wouldn't be too bothered by that. But you see loads and loads of roots coming out so on, it means it's pretty pot bound, and I'd go for a different one. Unless, of course, it's discounted. Then that's Ericium. This is Armeria, which I think the common name for that might be sea thrift, I'm not sure. But this is an example that this one here may have been in the pot a little bit too long, because if you see the bottom of it, it's got lots of roots hanging out. So you can tell that's going to be fairly pot bound. That's probably just about okay, but I wouldn't want anything more than that. What else have we got? Which one's this? This is another Ericium, slightly different colour that we had before. Lighter pale, lighter colour. What else have we got that's actually in flower at the moment that's pretty? This is a classic Aubritia. We've already got a lot of these in the garden. Good spreading plants they are. See what happens when you remember to put the autofocus on the camera. You can actually see what we're doing. Anyone know anyone called Veronica? Because that's what Veronica looks like in plant form. That's what it looks like in person. And again, what we said about pot-bound plants, this is a perfect example. If you went in the shop and you thought, oh, that looks like a nice plant, it's got pretty flowers, oh yeah, great. But turn it over and you can see there, you can't even see the bottom of the pot because the roots, it's got a mat of roots on the bottom. So that really should have been potted up more recently than that. So probably I wouldn't buy that if I was in the shop, unless it was on a discount, and then I would, because you can rescue that just by putting in a bigger pot. That's a perfect example, so you can see the difference. It's really how long they've been sat in the pots really for. Yeah, this one's a geranium. This is geranium Karima. And again, don't be afraid of reading the old labels. Some labels are more informative than others. So that's going to be a perennial. Geraniums being perennial. Yeah, and geraniums being perennial. And of course, the geraniums you see in the summer aren't geraniums; they're pelargoniums, but everyone calls them geraniums. But geraniums generally are the hardy version. Yeah, Yankees saying they bought plants and they told me root-bound roots are a good indicator of plant health. Well, it shows the plant's trying to put a lot of effort in, so I suppose technically that might be right, but the problem with it is once they get pot bound, then the roots go round and round and round and round in circles, and what you want roots to do is spread. So if they're overly pot bound, I wouldn't bother, but if they've got some roots coming out the bottom, I'm not so bothered by that. And you can pot it on anyway. So and as I think I've said before, the first place I go in any garden centre is the discounted section and see what they've got, because a lot of stuff just needs watering or repotting for a fraction of the price really. And of course, if you're running a garden centre that's got a flow of plants going through all the time, you haven't got time to look after the plants. You want it on the shelf and then sold. So literally, they've got a throughput. They're running a business. I don't think you can call this a business. So morning, Abby. So I'm going to put these outside and then we'll actually do something practical. I'll try not to demolish the camera that's in the doorway. Ugh. God, it's not nice out here. What can I do with this camera? I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to move it over there. The outside camera, sit there. Then I'm not going to trip over it. But we might as well do something practical and make use of the time, rather than listen to me waffle on. I'll just make an appearance on screen for any of our new viewers. Introduce myself. There we go. So morning anyone that's new to the channel, new to coming in. I'm Bear. Well, that's what I'm calling myself and have been for a number of years. It's not obviously the real name. We're predominantly were a YouTube channel. and most of our content's on YouTube, but we live stream both on, we're dual streaming at the moment, both on YouTube and on Twitch. So if you want to see a lot more of what we do and what's happening in the garden throughout the year, it's all on YouTube. We're also on Instagram, Facebook, blah, blah, blah. Won't go through it all, you've heard it all before. Basically, choose your platform you like, and you'll find something there. And we do everything, really. And I think a good description earlier was that we're a happy amateur, really. No professional training, just years and years. As you can see, I'm not a young bear anymore. So, as you can see, really professional. Yeah. And the reason is because, of course, I'm not looking at the right flipping screen, am I? Just before we start on actually doing anything practical, I'll just scroll back through the comments in case I've missed anything. Apologise if I missed anyone coming in or any comments. I think we've got it to there. I do read all the comments afterwards, so and actually it's quite useful to see the comments afterwards because quite often gives you ideas for videos to make and so on. Yes, it is relative, Christian. Depends what day of the week it is as to how old you think you are. Thanks for redeeming the check-in. Oh, Orange wants me to do a posture check. Well, that is true, because the back needs a good stretch out. Problem is, nowadays, if you stretch too far in one direction, you might not get back. Eek. Yankee's going to plant some brassica seeds. Yeah, I don't do a huge amount of veg growing here. We do a little bit. A couple of reasons for that is that we don't tend to do a lot of stuff that's going to get eaten by slugs, because I don't tend to put slug pellets down because of the cats, that not just our cats but the neighbourhood cats and so on. So lots of things, a lot of the brassicas tend to get a sort of bit chewed, so it tends to be stuff that the slugs don't like, or it's above slug height. So right, should we do something practical? Are those bluebells in the flower bed behind? There. No, they are muscari, which is the other name for that's grey hyacinth. In fact, so far, I shall bring one to, as we can't take the camera because it's chucking with rain, I shall bring one to you. Don't say, Abby, you don't get anything for watching the channel. Yeah, there's a flower for you. And if we can, of course, the one time the camera won't focus. There you go. So that's a grey hyacinth, muscari. There you go. There you go, Abby. I think it was Abby, wasn't it? Yes, it was Abby. See, we go out our way to look after our viewers, and now we shall plant that back in the pot there. Prefer to direct sow. Yeah, it's a real mix here. I like to sow inside. We've got trays and trays. We've got trays and trays of stuff. I mean, what you can see on the shelf, we've got a shelf above which has got loading. We've got shelves above the camera. There are little seedlings everywhere here. And the two reasons I tend to sow in the trays, well, one is slugs and snails, because obviously it's very damp here because we're in the UK. Nowadays we don't get very cold winters, which obviously you need to try to keep the slugs and snail populations down. But the other reason is if I direct sow anything outside, one of the cats will come along and, well, you can imagine what they use the soil for. They're very, very good at digging, let's put it that way, and then burying and fertilising, but not good for your little seedlings. So anything we generally plant out has to be big enough that's going to survive a cat sitting on the top. And that is sitting, S-I-T-T-I-N-G, before anyone puts anything rude in the chat. Bear in mind we have a ruthless mod in the chat, so don't anyone try it, because they're probably itching to use their extensive mod powers. And we are a family friendly channel. So I don't know if I said morning to you, Ali. Hello. Right, we'll actually do something practical. If you remember last week, we did the bottle brush in the big pot with some temporary plants around the outside. What we've got today is the corresponding. Every time you come out here, it's horrible. God, first day of summer, it's like that. We've got the corresponding smaller pots. I haven't got a clue what that is stuck to the bottom of the pot there. Oh no. Thought it was a worm, but it wasn't. It was some silicon sealant. So we've got the corresponding pots. So we've got two of these to do. Bird song, yeah, I think that was a blackbird. Let me have a look. Yeah, it sounded like a blackbird. Yeah. It'd be nice to get these pots done this week, because next weekend when we do the extra circular bed on the lawn, these are the pots that are going to sit there. So what we've got, a couple of new plants. That's a hardy geranium. This is Roseanne, which is a sort of purpley geranium, hardy, it'll survive over winter. You don't have to take it in, and it's a geranium, not a pelargonium. And then we've got I would remember what this is, but I can't remember, but I can because I bought it. This is a hydrangea. In my previous garden, I used to have a load of these in the flower beds and so on. And of course, this one, we went out to a garden centre. This one I got for a discount, not because it's root bound, like we said, but because it's got a broken pot. That was all that was wrong with that. And I think that was 50% off just because of the broken pot. So we've got two. So we're going to do two pots. Do what we did before. Fill it up with soil. Put those in. And these two will become quite sort of bushy they'll basically fill the top of the pot in their own right anyway, in due course. But they'll need a little bit of help around the outside for this year at least. So what I bought as well to fill in was, I just bought a mixed bag of summer bulbs. So we're just going to fill these up, put some bulbs in, plant in, and then hopefully this year I'll put the bulbs around the outside, so the bulbs will come through this year, give us some cover on the outside, and then hopefully by the following year the bulbs may come through again, hopefully. But even if they don't, the actual plants will be big enough to create that. What I'm trying to get is that sort of, I'm doing that but you can't actually see it, but I'm trying to create that sort of dome shape plant, which both of those should do. The geranium will be a much lower plant, probably about that height off the top of the pot. But the hydrangea will probably, well, the hydrangea will probably get to that sort of height off the pot. But I want to try to keep it to that sort of height. So Ali's sort of falling asleep. Yeah, join the rest of Europe, Ali, because everyone who's based in Europe is surviving on 1 hour's less sleep today, because our clocks changed last night. Which has got to be the most boring thing that happens twice a year, is a clock change. I mean, most things change themselves, don't they? But it's pretty dull. Well, thanks for that, Abby. You now get a huge range of benefits over with your YouTube membership. I think you get a few emotes, you get a few early videos and the odd pictures and so on. But welcome. I say the channel's not here to make oodles of money, and it probably never will. But it's a nice thing just for that sort of appreciation, really. You generally get the same service whether you're a member on YouTube or a subscriber on Twitch. Basically, try to be as fair to everyone as possible. But also, if people want to give a little bit extra, you do get a few perks. But it's not essential. But thank you very much. It is appreciated just for the thanks. So, grab the other pot. So we've got these are just plastic pots. We showed these last week, anyone new. Quite nice looking plastic pots. Very lightweight. Last week in the bigger pot, we took the executive decision to use a technical piece of equipment to weigh it down with. Consequently, when I tried to move it afterwards, with all the soil in, I decided it was quite heavy enough without the extra piece of equipment in there. So I'm just contemplating whether we actually need it in that. Probably not, because this is going to be a fairly low growing plant. And for anyone who missed the technical piece of equipment, it was a house brick in the bottom to add a little bit of extra weight. So what I'm just going to do is going to chuck loads of soil in here. I'm not bothered by, we'll take the label off first. I'm not bothered by the quality of the soil in the bottom of this too much. So I'm not going to use brand new compost. Anything to save some money. You should, well, I don't know, you should be able to. The system's there, Abby. I don't know why. I noticed someone on another channel I was watching the other day had exactly the same problem. So I don't know. Don't know. It's nothing at this end. So I think whether it's a YouTube issue at the moment, I haven't got a clue. Which reminds me, I don't know whether that's available to me. You on mobile? It may be. It may be. No, I don't understand that, Abby. Because of course you did it for yourself. So I don't know. I don't know. It's the mystery. It's the mysteries of YouTube. To YouTube mobile, as a creator, the mobile and the desktop apps you would have thought would be interlinked, and you could do the same on both, but you can't. So all I'm going to do on those is if anyone remembers this last week, we've got the troughs. These are the troughs from last summer that we took the plants out of a few weeks ago. This has survived over the winter. You're on tablet and don't see TV. Oh. So there's no logic to it, is there, over on YouTube? But there you go. So it's just the old compost. It's full of roots. I'm just going to chuck that in there. This is going at the bottom of the pot because we'll be needing these again in literally probably a couple of weeks. Start doing the summer baskets. In fact, there's a geranium there that's still alive. We'll take out. Oh, thanks, Abby. Thanks very much for that. So it obviously depends which system you're on. That's useful to know. That would probably explain what happened last week. But thanks. That's very generous of you, Abby. Welcome to the new members over on YouTube, whether you're here or just in the background. There's a few names that I recognise there. But that's very generous of you, Abby. I say we're not. I don't want to force anyone into doing something like that because obviously everyone's got their own. They're in their own position financially, so that's why I try to keep it as fair as possible on the channel. So chucking the soil in. This is the quality content that you're here for, watching someone chucking compost in a pot. And because this is the compost from last summer, this has already got, it had last year, it had some controlled release fertiliser in it. There's a few bits still in there, and also what it's got in here is water retention gel as well, which helps the pots keep water during the winter. So on to the next one. You can see how rooty this stuff is coming in here. And then on top of this, I'm going to put some fresh compost on the top. So for this year, the plants will have something nice to grow in. Sorry, what have you done, Abby? Abby sent another 5 gift memberships over on YouTube. That's, again, very generous. And again, some names that I recognise and probably some of you in the chat will recognise as well. But that's very generous of you, Abby. Tell you one thing, is it was well worth giving you a flower earlier, wasn't it, for that? There you go. So I'm going to pass this flower through to you, Abby. Over on. You ready, Abby, to collect this? There you go. It's coming. It's coming. Coming. See if you can catch it. There you go. Hopefully you caught that flower, Abby. Morning, Stephen. Oh, you've got one of the memberships. I think that's one of the ones. Yeah, it's one of the ones that Abby in the chat has done some gift memberships today. You got one of those. Morning, GG. Oh, you got the flower, Abby. Excellent. Amazing how we can transport flowers via the internet to the other end of the country. Isn't it? I hope it arrived in the same condition, rather than, because obviously if we'd sent it via the Royal Mail, it may never have got there. It's a controversial point at the moment. Though I have to say, to be fair to my postman, he's pretty good. Oh. So in fact, that's actually all the pots I need for a lot of the wall troughs. Empty now, so they're ready to go for next year. In fact, if I pick that out, I don't know if you can see that. This is in the middle of my hand. There's a little sort of yellow ball thing. That's controlled release fertilizer. So there's still stuff in there from last year, so it shouldn't really need to, once the roots get down to the bottom, it shouldn't really need a huge amount of feeding. Now I guess I'm going to top those up with plants, new compost. So, oh yeah, well there you go. So Beauty's made the good point that today we've had the ability to smell the plant through the internet, but now deliver plants through the internet. Over YouTube as well. Don't get that everywhere, do you? Yeah. It's a good thing we're a serious channel, isn't it? Welcome to the channel, Solarphonics. So I'm just going to check roughly what height. I want these to be just below there. So we need to add about another 3 inches in there. Yes, welcome, Solarphonics. Welcome anyone that's new or just lurking. Welcome to the slightly chaotic but still highly professional channel. Available on all good platforms and even bad platforms. Thanks for the follow as well, Solar. Twitch have got an ad break coming up shortly. Anyone on Twitch who's watching has got the ads. We always tend to slow down during the ads so you don't miss that much. Apologies to anyone who's getting ad breaks during the YouTube feed. I can't control those. That's Mr. YouTube that does that, and it tends to be quite random. Morning, Debs. Nice to see you. So I'm just going to go get the bag of compost out here. You might hear a bit of moaning and groaning because this is a big bag of compost. So if you hear a load of moaning and groaning, it is me picking up a bag of compost and nothing else. Oh, thanks very much, Solar. Thanks for subscribing as well on Twitch. That's very generous of you. Some very generous people around today. And so thanks for everyone who's doing that. But I think everyone knows by now, it's fairly clear that we're not in this channel to make money. We just enjoy doing what we're doing. We're just filming what we're doing, and if people get extra pleasure from it, excellent. But thank you very much and everything. Just to make it clear, anyone who's doing any gifts, or subs or anything like that. It all goes into a separate account away from the personal accounts. So anything that comes into the channel stays in the channel, or on stuff to run the channel or plants for the channel. Consequently, if you see me doing gifts elsewhere, that's not your money going back out somewhere else. That's my money going out there. But anyone's gifts or subs or memberships stays within the channel. There's an ad break over on I said over on solar because solar's just been so generous there. But we'll wait for the ad break to finish, and then I'll put some compost in for anyone who's still watching, especially on YouTube. Mustn't forget the bulbs as well. I'll put some compost in. The other thing we need to do today, anyone who's new to the channel, we do plant labels on the channel around the garden, where viewers have got their name or their username or a fictitious name or an animal's name or a friend's name on a plant label, and it goes into a raffle for a random plant in the garden. And at the beginning and the end of the streams, there's a video that you'll only see on the live streams that shows your plant label actually out in the garden. And it means if you see the garden throughout the year, you may catch a glimpse of your plant or your label actually in the garden. But we'll do that in a second. Yeah, so having just opened up this compost, I've got something interesting to show you. Can you pay only with a credit card? No, I think you pay with a debit card. You pay with PayPal. To be honest, I don't know. I would imagine that YouTube and Google aren't that fussed about how they get paid. If you click, if like on all the channels, if you just click the $sign on YouTube next to the chat box, it'll tell you what you can and can't do. Just looking outside. Right, I take it that Twitch is back. I'm just going to show you something interesting. That last week we had, in previous weeks, morning Colleen, last week we used this compost, which I'm now dropping all over the place. If I actually do it over there, it's very fine, right? This week I've got some bags of compost from the garden centre. This is much ordinary compost, nothing special. It's about a third of the price of the stuff that I normally buy. Yeah, that's fine, Beauty. If you want to do it, you don't have to do it when it's live. It's always there. It's you'll find it on the home page. I think you'll find it under most things on the channel. So, but don't worry about it at the moment. But if you have a look at the two next to each other, yeah, hold that. Could be a bit closer. The stuff here on the right of the screen is the stuff we used last week, much finer. This stuff is the stuff that's this week's, that's a third of the price. It's a lot damper, it's a lot muddier, and it's got a lot more bits of stick in it. And to be honest, if I was going to, like for the hang baskets, I'm always going to use the good stuff. That, it's just full of that's what I said about the compost, it's full of recycled stuff and rubbish compared to the, you can see how fine that is compared to lumpy that is. It really is rubbish. It really looks rubbish, some of this compost nowadays. And I think I said this before, if you're using compost nowadays, wear a pair of gloves, even though you can wash your hands afterwards. Because it's got so much recycled stuff, and you can imagine anyone who does garden recycling in bins and so on, you can imagine what people put in their bins, and it's just going to go through the same process. So I don't think the plant's really bothered about it, but I mean, that bag comes like that. It's compressed, it's been sat in a big pile. You know, it's down. I'm not even going to sniff that because God knows what's in that, but yeah, some of this compost is it's just useless, some of it really, which is why I tend to buy. Okay, I'm paying what, twice, somewhere between 2.5 times the price of this on the good stuff, but for me, summer baskets and so on, I use the good stuff. But I mean, should you be getting a bag of compost that arrives, that just sums it up really. It's got a little bit of, I mean, I'm going to use it, but it's I can understand the reason, because they don't want peat bogs and so on being dug up anymore, but it's so disappointing nowadays, which is why when I found the company that I get me normal compost from, me seed compost and me seed compost and me potting, and not the potting but the growing on compost. When I found that company and you opened up the bag for the first time, you're never quite sure what you're going to get, but it's in a different league. It is. I mean, the other thing is that this is from mostly recycled material, and how long's that been recycled for or rotted down? Judging by the amount of fibre in that, it's been through a shredder and perhaps given a couple of weeks, if that. Yeah, and it's compressed. It's been sat on a pallet as well. Yeah, and you can actually smell how damp it is, which is an indication any good compost heap's generating a lot of heat as it rots down. So I wouldn't imagine it to be as damp. It just doesn't. The other stuff that I use, it doesn't have a smell. I mean, admittedly, I don't go around sticking my head in bags of compost that often, but eventually we'll get to the stage where I'm going to attempt to pick up a bag. But it's a little bit more broken up as you go down, but it's all fibre. And I say the process does slightly rely on what people are putting in there in the recycling. I'm just trying to think, have we not complained about, have we complained about everything under the sun yet today? We've complained about the weather, we've complained about streaming on, we've complained about YouTube, we've complained. There must be something positive that's happened today. If you want to put in chat something positive about today. We've complained about the clocks going back and why we shouldn't have to do it. Obviously, for everyone who's watching here, obviously the positive is that you're watching me, and that's obviously the most positive thing you could ever think of on a Sunday. And as you see, you can't see my face, so you can't see the smirk on my face as I say that. But on the positive side, it is raining, but at least it's not raining as much as they predicted yet. My stream's positive, yeah, thank you very much. Thanks very much for dropping in, Dem. Thanks for your help. I'll probably see you tomorrow. Have a good afternoon. anyone who does drop in for a few minutes and comes and goes, the replay is always up on Twitch or on YouTube, whichever your preferred platform is. So if you miss anything, you can go back and catch up. Well, I'm filling these pots. In terms of content for the coming week, we'll be back live next Sunday. I think there'll probably be a bonus stream at some point next weekend, because it's Easter weekend. So nothing's happening basically Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So we've got plenty of time. Plus I've got the project of starting to plant up that new bed. But obviously it's going to depend what the weather looks like for next weekend. So, but if nothing else, there will be the live on Sunday. Then we've got the YouTube contents as with normal. We've got the shorts every day, and we've got lunchtime videos on the Tuesday and the Thursday, and then we've got Saturday we've got a calming morning video, and then we've got a premiere in the evening, which amazingly I've already made. I finished making yesterday, so I'm well ahead of time. I won't tell you what it is because it will spoil the surprise, but you'll find out later in the week anyway. Right. Right, the boring bit of filling these up with compost nearly done. What I want to do is see what bulbs we've got, because obviously that's going to... Thanks for dropping in, Victoria. Good to have seen you. So thanks for everyone who's here. If I've missed you, apologies. And if I miss you coming and going again. So we'll see what we've got in here. So we've got gladioli, acidanthera, iris oxalis, and triteli. So we'll see what, again, I could lob them in and hope for the best, but let's be semi-professional and read what it says on the back. Oh, is it Ali's birthday on Tuesday? Happy birthday for Tuesday, Ali. Gladioli is going to grow to about 1 metre, so that's going to be too high for this. So we want the other stuff, which is going to be about 2 foot or under. They all want planting between 5 to 10 centimetres deep. Yep. It tells you what the spacing is. I'm just reading off the back. It's not as if I know all this. So they're flowering anywhere between June and September. So apart from the gladioli, I'm just going to take the same approach to all of them. As you can tell, we take this very technically. So the gladioli we can use elsewhere. I've got 2 5 to 10 centimetres. That's about that below there. That's about that below there. Yeah, something like that. Yep, okay. And I'm going to take a very technical approach to this. Obviously, you plant it a bit like with the pointy side up, generally. But what I tend to do, because otherwise if you don't, you'll end up with I tend to end up with a fairly rhythmic pattern in there. I'll lob a load in. So that's that one. You see these ones have already started sprouting. So I'm just going to chuck some in. Because what I don't want to do is have it, when they come up, I don't want it to look like a straight line really. I want it to have some sort of randomness. So I'm just going to put a mix of bulbs into there. There's plenty of bulbs left over, so we'll do a load more pots. A lot of these can go into the summer baskets as well. That'll do for this one there. Put that on there so it doesn't fall down. And then what I'm just going to do is just going to roughly where they've fallen, I'm just going to stand them up in the right direction. And then by doing that you get some sort of randomised pattern. I'm trying to get them roughly around the edges because we've got the big plant to go in the middle. Even if it's not totally straight up, they'll still, a lot of these bulbs will right themselves anyway. But if you can get them roughly in the right direction, even better. Yeah. Just keep an eye on the chat. Okay, right. We've got our Dutch word for the day by the looks of it. Anyone new to the channel, we've got a number of Dutch speaking viewers, and we seem to have a challenge each week of trying to do the Dutch word of the week. So the Dutch word for flower bulbs is, I assume that's bloembollen. Bloembollen? Of course then you've got to try to do it with a Dutch sort of accent. Bloembollen? Bloembollen? Something like that. I can't remember. I have been to Holland this time of year. Thanks for the follow. Hello, Mystic Mink. Yes, I'm from the UK. We're from Northern England. We're in Yorkshire. So if you look on a map and find York, that'll give you a good indication roughly where we are. Yeah, I've been to Holland at this time of year and been out to the flower bulb fields. Oh, so it's Bollen. Okay, so it's Bollen. Bollen. If it's Bollen, there's an awful lot of extra words in the Dutch spelling on it. Yes, like, yeah, you're from New Zealand. That's someone over, for YouTube viewers, someone over on Twitch. Yeah, if you're from New Zealand, welcome from New Zealand. Yeah, like the Yorkshire pudding, exactly, yes. So this is the hydrangea. This is the one we got at discount. I've just noticed this has got cracks in the pot all over the place. It's had a hard life, I think. But never mind, we got it cheap. Take that out. That one can go in there. That's about level with the edge, which is what I want, because then I'm just going to fill in around the edges of that. The garden setup is epic. Yeah, you're presently in the greenhouse. We're in. It's not a huge garden. We're an amateur. What we would call down in. Oh no, Anime's gone. I think. I think Anime's still here. But we're I think we were described earlier as a happy amateur. So we don't take it too seriously, but I like doing the gardening. So everything on the channel relates around the garden throughout the year. So we do lots of stuff. We're mainly a YouTube channel, but we live stream, we dual live stream YouTube and Twitch. So you'll find us on all the platforms, all the good and bad platforms you can think of. Do I watch any sports? Yes, yes. If I'm not out in the garden or watching Twitch or YouTube, yeah, sport is my sort of hobby. I watch all sorts of different sports, but some are more favourite than others. What teams or sports do you follow? You're a Liverpool fan. I'm not a Liverpool fan. And I don't support a team in Yorkshire for football because I'm not originally from Yorkshire. But I would say my main passion would be cricket. Happy Amateurs, yeah, that was what it was. Yeah, my main passion would be cricket. And hence where the name Bear comes from. Because that's where I originate from, which is Warwickshire. So if anyone, so that would be my team for cricket, would be Warwickshire. Not bothered by international cricket, but county cricket, excellent. Well, what they're asking is, can you give a few pros and cons of living in England? And they also like the cricket as well. I could ask chat what they like about living in England, but the chat, because I can see the chat from both Twitch and from YouTube. The viewership on the channel is from all over the world, really. I think if you look at the YouTube stats, I think I think it's something like 16% of about 16% of the viewers are from the UK. It's about the same from the US, about the same from Canada, but they're from everywhere, really. So we seem to be picking up a few viewers from New Zealand. But the pros and cons of living in England, it's like everywhere in the world. The cons are it's just expensive, but that's like could be anywhere. The pros, my cats live here. Is that a good enough excuse? And I'm not sure they would like. They don't like travelling in a car, so I don't think they'd be wanting to move anywhere else. But I don't know. It's just where you grow up, isn't it? I've never been to New Zealand, so I can't say whether it's better or worse. And have I ever lived outside the UK? No. Always lived in the UK. Different parts of the UK, though. But no, I've travelled around to all sorts of places around the world, but so there you go. That's the first pot with a hydrangea in it. And then it's 101 questions from the Mystic Mink. Obviously trying to read my mind. Don't have any for that question. Not a music person. So that's the first one done. And actually without the brick in the bottom of it, that's not too bad to chuck around. And I'll put some slate over the top of that one as well. I mean, that's right, only me. It's just life. It's just life in it, where you end up where you end up, really. It's going to become more and more difficult to move around. So we'll do this one, which is the hardy geranium. It's a good question, though. I'm trying to think where, if there was going to move somewhere. Outside of the UK, there's only one place that I would move to. But I'm not going to give that away for obvious reasons, because I don't want everyone following me when I go there. So this is the hardy geranium. That's going to be about right, just about level with there. So we're going for that sort of mark. So while I'm filling this up, we've got a lot to do. There won't be, probably looking at the forecast, there won't be a huge amount done in the garden this week, during the week, but I'll say we've got a lot to do next weekend. So I'll say we'll be back live on Sunday, next Sunday, usual sort of time. And I say there'll be a good chance of something, an extra live stream at some point. But if I'm going to do an extra live stream, I'll post in all the usual places that we're going to do that. Don't know what day that would be. Might be Friday, or if anything, it's more likely to be Saturday about the same time. But it's going to depend on the weather, because I'm not going to be crawling around on my hands and knees planting plants if it's raining. Yeah, someone made a good point on YouTube about manicured gardens. It's very interesting. Over the years, obviously I'm not an ancient bear, but I'm not a young bear. Over the years, it's interesting about the gardens. So when you walked up and down the streets, everyone put a great deal of effort into their front gardens and so on. But of course, what's happened over time is everyone's got 2 or 3 cars now. So if just on the street here, in the last 5-6 years, most of the front gardens that had plants in them now are just car parks. And whether it's people haven't got the time to do that, put a bit of effort into their garden, I don't know. It does vary from place to place as well. I could tell you more about the sort of villagey place that where we are at the moment, about the history of it, but then I'm not going to do that, because I don't want to give away too much about where you end up actually living. But this village has changed dramatically over the last 20 years. Obviously, I haven't been here as long as that, but I've known the village for that sort of time, and it's gone through a lot of changes. Not all of them for the better, but that's what life is. It just moves on. But lots of people do make some effort, really. So there you go. So that's that. So that's that one done. You can see the top of that plant is level with that. So hopefully as that grows up, it's going to dome over the sides. It's got the spring bulbs which are going to come up around the outside. Whether I plant anything else in terms of bedding plants around the outside, probably not, because they've got enough bulbs. And what I want to do, I don't want to drown this out by summer bedding really. I want to get plenty of light, and hopefully that by the end of the summer should be, that hopefully might even filled it, and then that'll be the long term. So that's the 3 tubs that are going to go on the extra central bed that's going to be in the garden. I'm going to chuck that outside so it can get watered. Oh dear, not a lot of fun out of there. Let me just catch up on the chats. While I've got a moment, if anyone wants and hasn't already got a plant label with their name on, if you want to put in chat what you do and what you want on your plant label. What they look like is slate labels. You have your name on one side. That one hasn't got the plant on the back, but you get your plant on the back, and then it goes out in the garden, and you hopefully see it on the various platforms at some point throughout the year. Just going to have a quick read through the comments, see what's come up recently. There's a lot of comments here, so I apologise if I miss anything. Yeah, I like Scotland as well. Not the southern part of Scotland. The further north you go, it's dramatic, but it's hard. It's pretty hard living up there, I think. Yes, yeah, yeah. The problem with doing a lot of YouTube stuff is that you're either watching it or you're making videos, and then you get out of the habit of actually doing any gardening. But then you get a sunny day, and then you think, oh, it's quite nice out here. So, any sign of spike? No, not yet. Though there was a possible the other night. I was sat in my office and the security light went off across the road. I know generally in recent times that's where spikes come from. I'm trying to think, did I miss anyone putting in chat about flower labels or not? Gigi says there'll soon be a mum of some lavender blooms. Yep. I assume that's you had lavender, did you, Gigi? I'm looking at my database. Yep. I have my database, which is a piece of paper with everything written on it. It's a good thing I make a video of it. Yeah, so there's a possible spike, but I think part of the problem is because it's been so damp and mild, there's so much food around for the slug, in terms of slugs and snails. They don't have to go very far to find something. Where you tend to see them more in the summer, I think, because obviously it's dry. They have to go hunting a bit more. I don't know. I'm not as someone a lot of us know. I'm not a hedgehogist or whatever the word is. It is still raining, but not as bad as it was before. Do you want to attempt for a quick wander in the garden? Right, well, we'll attempt to garden wander. What I'm going to do, I'm going to leave the microphone in the greenhouse because it is still raining and I don't want to get water in that. So I don't know whether we can actually achieve that. We'll try it. We'll try it anyway with the microphone. Let me just change the scene over. Plus, I need to put you on the. I need to put chat on the phone. I can't really see what you're saying on the phone, but at least I can see what I'm looking at. Hopefully. So I'm just going to send. Someone's just answering a text message here, unrelated to gardening. What the heck was that? Something made a very odd leaping sound there. I have not got a clue what that was for. Don't know. Don't know. We'll carry on anyway. Right, okay. Sorry about that. Right, let's put the feed on so I can actually see what I'm doing outside. Right, so that's that. We'll change you over to the. Oh, right. There's an ad break on. There's an ad break on Twitch just starting now. We'll wait for them to get through their ads and then we'll go for the wander. In fact, while we're doing that, I'll change the scene. Give me a chance to change the scene in the background anyway. Then we're going to have a wander. In fact, what I'll do, I'm just going to take the camera down to the start point, and then if I manage to then disconnect the camera in the process, it gives me a chance to reset it. We're back. I will take the mic down with us. If we cut out on the sound, hopefully it will come back as we get closer back in. They've got a minute to go on their ad break. Just check. dodge between the drops. There's some very big drops here, but it's not quite as bad as they forecast. Lavender and basil are your favourites, Debs. Got plenty of lavender in the garden. Yeah, I'm just going to change scenes now. And then I'll get ready to have a quick wander. Just trying to remember how to do this. Okay, it's that one back on. So we transition that. Yep, so that should come over. It's not quite at least try to get it covering up the whole screen. Welcome. I assume that says Katsuda-san. Suda-san. Welcome to the channel. Right, looks like Twitch's ads are basically over. Always good ads, so we're going to have a wander out. I should take the phone with me, so at least I can see what you're seeing on the screen. I can't see your chats, so if you're in the chat amongst yourselves, and then I can read through all your comments when I get back into the greenhouse. So I have one wandering down. Lovely out here it is. Right. Right, hopefully, yep. As far as I can see, it's working, so we'll plough on. We've got the magnolias, looking a bit weather beaten. The bright yellow leaves behind are a fuchsia genie. And then there's, I think last week we had the red robin leaves of that plant. There's lots of stuff appearing in the ground. There was Gigi was talking about lavender. Yeah. We've got some horrible mint coming up. Another hardy geranium there. For anyone who hasn't seen it, this is the flower bed that we're doing at the moment, 5 by 1 metre. New flower bed in the middle of the lawn. This is what we'll be hopefully planting up next weekend. And then behind that, the far end is going to be a big circular bed, which is where those pots are going that we've done today and last week. Come back over to the plants here. Those are the tulips that we had earlier. Closed up, of course, tulips open up in the sunshine during the day and then close up at night. Don't know if we can actually see inside one. There's camellia at the back. Viburnum there. Got some grasses. That's Aubrietia, which I think we saw a pot of earlier. So really from last week, not a huge amount extra come out in flower. Everything's just growing. There's foxgloves there growing. Aquilegia there. As you can probably hear, it's quite windy out here. More polyanthus there. Got roses at the back. Lots of fuchsias in here as well. Dianthus down there. Mahonias, roses. More dianthus. There's all sorts in here. It's just all starting to get green and fill out. Plenty of weeds as well. We grow weeds quite nicely here. We'll come back onto the patio at the bottom. It's got some hyacinths there, with a fuchsia that's survived over winter as well. The hyacinths are incredible really, just the smell, quite overpowering to be honest, but it is nice. These are the Muscari, or the grape hyacinths that Abby was on about. We managed to deliver one of these through the internet to her earlier. So that's a grape hyacinth. If we look, that's a hyacinth. So I don't know the connection between the two, but the nice plants. So these grape hyacinths spread like anything, because if you look down here, we've actually got grape hyacinths actually growing outside of the flower bed itself. So we can actually dig those up and create extra plants. The other thing that grows everywhere, if you've got forget-me-nots, which are just starting to come into flower now, this is a forget-me-not here that has self-seeded itself in the gap between two paving slabs. So they self-seed everywhere. What else can we show you down here? We've got Forsythia in the corner. And we've got, there we go. We've got, this is the pear tree with pear blossom. You'll see a lot of pear content coming up over the next couple of weeks, I guess. We need some sunny days really to get this blossom to really burst out. For some reason, you get a lot of views on YouTube with anything to do with pears. I've not got a clue why. Come around here. This is the apple tree that's coming into bud. What else have we got? Some various pots. Sage in that one on the right. Some more polyanthus, a couple of daffodils still a few daffodils floating around. Yep. We've got the pots that we did earlier. Obviously, should back up. There's the pot that we did last week. with the mains cable running through it. We don't plant mains cables, but and we've got all the plants which are getting watered. And then we'll come back in the greenhouse because it is raining. So we've got a lot of stuff in here. Let me just put the phone down. Hopefully you heard all that. I'm just going to put you on there. You'll go dark for a second. I'll just change the scene back over to something you can actually see. What? Oh, there it is. Okay. For a second there, I thought I'd lost you. Change that over, transition that over. So it should be back in the greenhouse. I was trying to think which planter you got, Beauty Love Creative. I'll go through the comments in a second. Let me just check which one you've got on my master list. You've got Lady's Mantle, Beauty Love Creative. Oh well, I could show, that's down by the house. You'll probably see that next week, and it's not. It doesn't look like anything. It still looks fairly dead, to be honest. It hasn't really started sprouting, but it's still alive. Don't worry about that. Hello, Scouting. Good to see you. Yeah, you heard everything. That was good. You didn't get. I'll just go back through the. See if there are any comments while we're wandering around. Yeah, Lady's Mantle. Yeah. Yeah, so it's interesting with the garden. If you've got this sudden burst of activity, then it sort of slows down a bit, and it'll be fairly steady now until we start to see some of the summer plants appear. But I think probably you've probably heard from me enough today. I say we'll be back live next Sunday, and we'll also be doing possibly another bonus live, but worry about that when seeing the weather forecast. We'll come to obviously one of the favourite parts of the show each week is to try to guess what we're having for lunch while I try to find for someone to raid for Twitch. Why are you putting that in the comments as to what you think's lunch is going to be? Yeah, so we do. Okay. So if anyone has got any guesses for lunch, saying that sort of fish of some sort, go for salmon. We've got a soup sandwich. Question is Twitch or YouTube going to guess the lunch first today? I don't think anyone will get it personally. Sandwich for lunch, no one's got it yet. Hello Atom Fighter, good to see you. We're just starting to tidy up now, but thanks for dropping in. It's a comfort food kind of day, yeah. Rainy out there, so soup. No, not soup. Do. Yeah, I don't know, Atom, I don't know if Dem's still here. She was certainly here earlier. I think she had to leave to do something, so you may not get a response to that. But she definitely was here. Unless she's still lurking, she may have left to lurk. So hot soup, best for a rainy day. Yeah, we're saying that the sun's coming out now. So if I actually put my hand there, I don't know whether I can create a shadow to prove that it's sunny. No, not really. That wasn't a very good experiment, was it? Scotch egg? Nope. Do you want the answer? I'm actually having today a cheese and onion quiche for my lunch. That's what I'm going to have. Oh, crumbs. We've just been raided on Twitch by Zab Blocker. Thanks very much for that, Zab. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome, raiders. We're just actually thinking of actually starting to wind up, but we can stay on for a few more minutes. Are YouTube happy to stay on for a few more minutes, or we have a quick chat with our Twitch viewers? Hello Zab, hello Debbie, good to see you. Let me do a shout out for you, Zab. I'm without moderator at the moment, so I'm a self-moderating channel. So anyone who's not been on Zab's channel, he does a lot of Lego stuff. You can just sit and watch Lego being built. It's got a lot of bits and pieces that make it entertaining as well. So anyone, there's the follow if you want to. I was just looking for someone to raid out, Zab, and as usual, you're one of the people I was looking at, but you beat me to it. But I have got another idea where to go. Thanks for the follow there. This raiding, so everyone seems to start and end at roughly the same time, and then obviously you've great plans, and it all goes pear-shaped. So for YouTube viewers, we'll stay on for another few minutes, just so we can introduce ourselves to anyone new coming in on Twitch. Let me move up the camera slightly so at least I appear on the camera. Did I hear about the old man who fell in a well? He didn't see that well. Thanks for that, Debbie. I suppose I deserve that, don't I? We've just moved back. Hello, everyone. I'm there. We're a predominantly YouTube-based channel, but we live stream here on Twitch and on YouTube. So we dual stream live, generally streaming on a Sunday, late morning, lunchtime. We do bonus streams at other times and so on. We are, I think we were described on YouTube earlier as a happy amateur gardener. We don't take two things that seriously. We just enjoy what we're doing, and we follow the garden throughout the year. So if you're interested, you can watch the live streams on Twitch, or if you want some more content from the garden, you'll find us on YouTube. That's where most of our stuff is. Lots of extra videos. Plus we're also on all the other platforms, good, bad and indifferent. We're all everywhere you'll find us under Bear in the Garden. So we're fairly easy to find. The links are both on YouTube and in the descriptions on YouTube and Twitch. So it's easy to find us. We're in the greenhouse today because it's raining outside. We had a quick wander. Got a bit rained on today. But what else we've done today? We've managed to introduce smell vision to the channel today. If I can find it. YouTube we managed to transmit smell through to YouTube, and they managed to guess the smell. In fact, if I go and get that now, you'll see how good Twitch is at trying to work out what the smell is. So there you go, that's what we were transmitting the smell of earlier today. If I put my hand behind there, it might focus a little bit better for you. There you go. So think of a common smell that you think that might be. We also managed to transmit a flower from here. We're in Yorkshire, which is northern England for anyone. So we're basically halfway between London and Scotland for anyone who's not from the UK. And we managed to transmit a flower from here through the powers of the internet to the south coast. Magically it appeared at the other end, perfectly formed. As you can tell, this is a very serious channel. We're aimed to be a nice calming channel, pleasant chats for everyone, good fun. So we do a mix of this sort of garden type stuff, but we also do calming videos and so on, or just sit and watch some flowers. So this plant here, I'll give you another clue. It's called Allium Moly. So anyone who's into their gardening will have a good idea what it would probably smell of now, if you know what allium is. We'll give it a second for that to come through. Aluminium. No, it doesn't smell of aluminium. But having worked with aluminium, I'm not sure I've ever smelt aluminium. But it doesn't that anyway. It's a very common smell. Oh, well, perhaps I should rephrase that. If you're into your cooking, it's a similar smell. Only me's got it correct on YouTube. So YouTube, now whether YouTube's, this could be controversial because YouTube knows, a lot of YouTube were here when we were actually discussing this earlier, so that could be insider information. So, but Zarf garlic is very close. Yeah, it's actually oniony smell, as YouTube just said. No, it's not lemons. It's onion. Onions are part of the allium family. It's part of the same family as garlic and so on. So yeah, so I'm afraid, Zab, you're a bit too slow. You can't answer it after the answer's been given. It's like going into a school exam. But that's got a really strong oniony smell. So, can you smell it now? Is that coming through? If you can't smell that through the screen now, with that onion smell, it looks like the system's broken down in the meantime. Is it edible? I doubt it very much. I wouldn't eat it. I wouldn't risk it, personally. In fact, the label says, yeah, this golden ornamental garlic produces tight clusters of golden yellow flowers with green narrow foliage. And in fact, no, you can't eat it because it actually says on the label, harmful if eaten. Harmful if eaten. So, but that's it is very strong. Thanks for dropping in, Gigi. I say we're in a relatively small, semi-rural village here. It's a relatively small garden, but everything we do throughout the year is based around the garden, or based what we can see from the garden. So what we've been doing over the last few weeks is saving plants, clean plants. We've got a big new flower bed we're putting in the garden, hence why we've gone mad buying plants this week. The greenhouse you're in at the moment is absolutely jam-packed with plants. And I'll show you some of the stuff we've got. We've got loads and loads of seeds growing. We've got larger plants that are ready to go in the flower bed next weekend. We've got trays of seedlings. But I think by the time we finish, we'll probably have 800 or 900 pots in here. It's getting to the stage where I was starting to think, where am I supposed to stream from in here? So that's why, if you can see on the camera, no, you probably can't, behind the bear, there's a big table with stuff out there to create the space here. We've got things like fuchsias. And over the last few couple of months, we've been sowing lots of seeds and potting up plants on the Sunday lives. So they're baby sunflowers. Perhaps I shouldn't show that one. That needs watering. I suppose I missed that. I did water the greenhouse yesterday, but obviously missed some. Yeah, those. So we've got a range of stuff. Yeah, windowsill allotment. Yeah, there's a couple of videos on there's some videos on the YouTube channel about windowsill growing. It's basically plants that would normally grow outside that you can grow on your windowsill. So if you're really interested in starting doing that again, have a look over on the YouTube channel as well. The carrot in a Pringles tube was successful. Yep. Yeah, the carrots are taproots. In other words, you've got the top part. Generally, if you see a carrot in the supermarket, it's a nice sort of thick, chunky carrot. But then what they have is the taproot, which goes down, 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 down. And if you're going to do like for professional shows and so on, what they tend quite often do is the same with parsnips, which are also taproots. They get a drain pipe and fill it with sand, and then they can sow their carrot or parsnip in the top. And then because the sand hasn't got a lot of compaction, the little taproot can go for miles and miles and miles down through the drain pipe. And then the drain pipes are generally cut beforehand, and then they're stuck together with tape or whatever. And then when the time comes, they can just take the tape off. The drain pipe comes apart in half, and that's how they get these giant long greenhouses. Yep, certainly am, Zarf. That won't come up in the chat because of one of the words in that. But yeah, I don't think that. I'm not a professional. I just enjoy my gardening. So we've got all that. I'll show you what we've done today. We've done some pots today. So one of the beds that we're putting in is going to be basically a bed without any plants in it. It's just going to be stoned or slate chipped, and then there are going to be pots on the top. So in here we've got a standard pot. This is a hydrangea. This is going to grow to that sort of height. It's also going to spread, but we've also been putting in some summer bulbs around the edges to fill in the edges for this year while this is growing out. We've done a second one. If I stand back, there's a second one out there that's got a hardy geranium in, exactly the same. And then if I go out and drag it across, Yeah. That's the one we did last week. I don't know if you can actually see that. It's a slightly bigger one. You can't really see that very well. But that's actually got a bottle brush plant in it and some primroses around the edge for the time being. So on the next weekend's live streams, we're hoping, if the weather's okay, to plant up this new flower bed that's running down the lawn. We're getting rid of the lawn because basically it's full of moss during the winter and dries off during the summer. So that's basically the channel. I'd say we started to wind up because we've been running for over 2.5 hours now. And that's what we do on Sundays. We tend to have a wander around the garden, have a chit chat, tend to do something practical, and then during the week all our other content is on all the other platforms. For this week, YouTube's got shorts every day. It's got lunchtime videos on Tuesday and Thursday, which are 3 minutes long each day on Tuesday and Thursday. And then on a Saturday, we have a Saturday morning carving video you can just sit down and have your cup of tea with. And then in the evening, we have a premiere, which is more a storytelling type thing in the evening. Then we're on all the other platforms as well that you can imagine. So glad you could raid me. Thanks for that, Zab. It was pity you got to me before I could raid you. Took one of my options away. Thanks only me for being here. But I think I'm going to think about calling you today here now. Mainly because we're going to have some lunch. I'll say anyone who's interested, if you on Twitch, you can follow us. Anyone on YouTube, you can subscribe. Thanks to all the lurkers. I'll say a few thanks to people I can see at the moment. We'll start off over on YouTube. I know where we're going to raid, so we're not finishing trying yet. So thanks, Abby. Oh, thanks for the thanks for becoming a member over there and for your gift memberships today. That's much appreciated. Thanks to Solar for becoming a subscriber over on Twitch. It's appreciated as well. I'm just going to have a quick run down through the list, see who. So over on YouTube, thanks to Only Me, Beauty Love Creative, Christian, Abby, Ali, Den was here. Thanks to the mods who've been here, Victoria, Sean, Gigi, Debs, Colleen, Ollie, Jerome. Oh, it wasn't Stefan, it was Stephanie. Sorry. Yeah, just noticed that. That was my mistake. Thanks, Debs, for being over here, if I didn't mention that. Thanks to all the lurkers on YouTube. Over on Twitch, thanks for Zab's raid. Thanks, Rubik Cuba. Thanks, Zarf. Thanks, Debbie, for coming in as well. Solar, thanks very much for the sub. Atom Fighter, Mystic Mink was here. There were quite a few new people on there. I can't go back, can't see those. So thanks for everyone who was new here today. All the new follows. What we've done our traditional closing of trying to guess what was for lunch. So we've already done that. So what I'm going to do is, while I set up the raid, I'm going to run the closing video, which shows all the plant labels that we've already got in the garden. with people's names and the plants they've got. So and then it'll be throughout the year they'll see that develop. So I'm just going to run that, and then I'll set up the raid in the background. So again, thanks for everyone who's been here. Thanks for all your support. As we'll be back live at least next Sunday, if not, for a bonus stream before that. So we'll put up the plant label. Take care, have a good rest of the weekend, and I'll see you in all the usual places and unusual places on YouTube and Twitch over the coming days, probably. So we'll start.